I will break down my original take, and then I literally had to delete it because it was being so heavily misunderstood, and I posted a clarifying tweet, which I will then go through in a moment. So my original tweet was simply that if you care about reducing child abuse, then we need to be willing to destigmatize pedophilia. Now, right off the bat, a lot of people have suddenly started screaming. Their brains have shut down. No more thinking. It's all out the window, okay? Facts. Fuck them. We're scared. Throw all pedophiles in a wood chipper. Ha ha ha. I get it, okay? Because when you hear pedophilia, you instantly think of some creep driving around in a fucking van. My original take was, if you want to stop child sexual abuse, then you need to be willing to destigmatize pedophilia. Of course, I also clarified that pedophilia, by definition, is merely the attraction to prepubescent children. Pedophilia is not synonymous with child molestation. In fact, the majority of child molestations are actually committed by non-pedophiles. They're usually committed by sick individuals that genuinely take advantage of power dynamics and exploit vulnerable people. And it's usually child molesters that will abuse kids, they'll abuse boys, girls, and even adults if they can. It's about exploiting the vulnerable for those people. But then on the other side of things, you have pedophiles. Now, right now, the research is very inconclusive about how people become pedophiles, whether it's because they were victimized, whether they were born like that. But one thing seems to be pretty well understood, which is, unfortunately, pedophiles cannot just hit a switch and stop being a pedophile. Two options for this person. One, they abuse a child and act on those dangerous and immoral attractions, okay? Or two, they seek help and get therapy where they are able to be put on medication, where they are able to be put on medication that reduces libido, where they are able to go through therapy, which has already been done in Germany, for example, and they've found very positive results. Destigmatize, I recognize how that word can sound kind of yikesy, and so that's ultimately what led to the deletion of my first tweet. And so I posted something clarifying. I will now go through my tweet here and then explain why I am being canceled for being against child abuse, while all the people trying to cancel me are, whether they are intentionally or not, adding and contributing to more child rape. Yes, I know. I said, I've deleted my controversial pedo tweet due to the misunderstanding of the word destigmatize. I only meant the stigma needs to be reduced to the point of making it easier for pedophiles who haven't harmed kids to seek therapy without fear of total retribution. Now, this is true. Right now, the way the intense stigma is around pedophiles, it deters people who have not harmed kids from seeking therapy and getting actual fucking help for these dangerous and immoral attractions. And you know what? When you don't get help, that makes it more likely that they will hurt somebody, that they will offend. If a pedophile is suffering and they are upset by the fact that they have these attractions, and then they are treated like an outcast, even though they've never harmed a child, when they are isolated and they feel as though they have nothing left to lose, that raises the likelihood that they will harm somebody. That is the truth of the matter, okay? So just to be crystal fucking clear, I am not advocating for normalizing pedophilia. Pedophilia is wrong, bad, dangerous, and it puts children at risk, which is all the more reason why we should be willing to talk about preventative measures for pedophiles who have these attractions but have not yet acted on them. This really is not that fucking complicated. I clarified with that. Of course, people are still reeing nonstop. And I say having an attraction to kids is a bad thing. That's what pedophilia is. It's not synonymous with child abuse. It should carry with it a level of stigma, which I also agree with. I'm not saying totally destigmatize this, guys. Yeah, there's no shame whatsoever involved with being a pedophile. Fuck no. There should be a healthy level of stigma. But right now with this literally burn all pedophiles, if you even have a bad thought about a child, holy shit, you should be strung up by your balls and thrown into a wood chipper. You're not helping anybody. You're not. What you're doing is isolating individuals who might have immoral and dangerous attractions. You are deterring them from getting help. You are then making it more likely that they will offend. So yes, you are contributing to child rape. I don't give a fuck if that's controversial. If you are up here on Twitter reading nonstop about me being willing to say that preventative actions should be taken, which has been empirically demonstrated to lower the abuse of children, then fuck you. You are pro-child rape. Whether or not you intentionally are thinking that doesn't fucking matter. You are pro-child rape. And then I say this, various studies have shown that the way in which pedophiles are heavily stigmatized and wrongly viewed as people who have already abused kids deters those who have these dangerous attractions but haven't acted on them from seeking therapy. And I'll bring this study up here, which is what I cited. Stigmatization of people with pedophilia, 2 comparative surveys. And it's a long PDF, but I would highly recommend you guys check it out. I sourced this little blurb from it, though, and I will read it now. We argue that confusing the logically distinct categories of pedophilia and child sexual abuse does not only create an enormous social and emotional burden for the discredited PWP, who see their life opportunities diminished because of a condition they could neither choose nor change, but that stigmatization of atypical sexual interests can also influence sexual and non-sexual behavior of stigmatized individuals. In the case of people with pedophilia, fear of discrimination may lead to social isolation and thus a reduction of social control of pedophilic sexual urges, as well as the chance to implement preventative measures. Man, that sucks, doesn't it? When I'm empirically correct and you all are coping? Damn, that fucking sucks. So again, am I saying we should destigmatize people that abuse kids? No, those people deserve to be burned at the stake. Am I saying that we should destigmatize or normalize pedophilia? No, pedophilia is a bad thing, and it's a very dangerous and immoral attraction to have. However, if you recognize that it is dangerous and immoral, I would think you would want to take preventative measures to keep people from acting on these dangerous and immoral attractions. Isolation makes it more likely these people will abuse a child. Recognizing that a reduction in the level of current stigma reduces child abuse is crucial. That's what I'm advocating for. Pedophilia should not be normalized. It deserves a degree of stigma. Germany has made it easier for non-offending pedophiles to seek treatment, and they've had positive results with therapies, SSRIs, and libido-reducing medication. Not all pedophiles are child abusers. Many are disgusted with their attractions and need help. Again, 95% of child abuse and child molestations are committed by people that are not pedophiles. They are committed by men who are in heterosexual relationships and are taking advantage of vulnerable individuals. And those people, believe me, are sick as fuck. Okay? Those people are disgusting. And then I say, although this is a controversial take all the same, I hope I've made my stance clear. Recognizing this reality can and will reduce child abuse. So that is my take. That's what got me canceled on Twitter. Recognizing that pedophilia refers to the dangerous attraction that people have to children. It does not actually, by definition, include the abuse of a child, but if you have an attraction to children, you are more likely to abuse a child. So therefore, you should get help fucking immediately. And because of the way the stigma is right now, that deters people from getting help. The stigma of pedophilia, clinical and forensic implications. There's an emerging consensus among researchers that having pedophilic interests is not synonymous with child sexual abuse or other amoral behavior. Nevertheless, misconceptions about pedophilia are highly prevalent among the general public and mental health practitioners. This article provides an overview of recent findings on the stigma of pedophilia and derives guidelines for medical health practitioners based on these results. We argue that stigmatization of people with pedophilic sexual interests has undesired, indirect effects on risk factors for child sexual abuse, particularly on an emotional and social level. Also, fear of being rejected or treated unethically may prevent pedophilic individuals at risk for sexual offending from confiding in medical practitioners or psychotherapists. Psychologists working with pedophilic individuals in forensic or clinical settings should be aware that stigmatizing people with pedophilia may increase their risk of sexual offending and provide help to deal with potential stigma-related repercussions. Let's bring this one up as well. This is a blog post in the Journal of Medical Ethics. Pedophilia and child sexual abuse are two different things. Confusing them is harmful to children. Pedophilia and child sexual assault are two different things, and conflating them is not a good idea. This is not just a matter of semantics. From one thing, confusing psychiatric disorders, which requires treatment, and sex crimes, which may or may not follow from such disorders, is likely to hamper clear moral reasoning. but more importantly, it may actually increase harm to children. Consider the following. Many people with pedophilia, 1, hate their desires, 2, do not act on them for moral reasons, and 3, often do seek treatment precisely because they are aware that people in general cannot seem to tell the difference between A, feeling involuntarily sexually attracted to young children, and B, molesting or sexually assaulting children, which is very wrong in and of itself, no matter what the reason. And here's the kicker. Failing to seek treatment for A, feeling involuntarily sexually attracted to kids, is precisely the sort of thing that makes B, molesting kids, more likely to happen. The latter, not the former, is a sex crime and a serious moral wrong. If the goal is to protect children from harm, as it should be, then we should stop stigmatizing pedophilia per se and start stigmatizing, or keep stigmatizing, those who actually sexually abuse children for whatever reason, whether they happen to be pedophiles or not. In other words, non-offending pedophiles should not be stigmatized so long as they do not offend, nor mistaken for sexual abusers. Instead, they should be encouraged to seek treatment for their disorder before they cause harm to children, which will only happen if we can keep clear about the difference between A and B. So this is just another one, no big deal from the Journal of Medical Ethics. This is a pretty cut and dry thing. Like, if somebody is a pedophile and they cannot change that fact, then preventative measures should be taken. Obviously. It's actually really, shocking to me that this is what I'm getting canceled for. The most fucking obvious take of the decade. If you have a dangerous attraction, you should get help so you don't act on that dangerous attraction. Whoa! Wow! Even more so, a good friend of mine has sent me, more precisely, this is a piece of research done from the Czech Republic. Let me read you this. It was in different language, but I translated it. So right now in some US states, pedophiles are automatically reported to police, not with a criminal charge, but as potential suspects. And again, this is somebody who might say, I have this really bad attraction and I don't know what to do. Not people who've actually harmed kids. Those people need to go to jail immediately, okay? But right now in the US, we have mandatory reporting laws, and their doctors are required that they report these people who haven't even harmed kids. The opposite is in Berlin, which is where it is mandated by law to not disclose pedophilia from patients unless they commit a crime or plan to. And this law has empirically decreased the number of child rapes and increased the number of pedophiles going to therapy. Keep that in mind as well. When you provide the proper avenue for these individuals to seek help, you will lower, empirically, the rate of child abuse. Media coverage of pedophilia, benefits, and risks from healthcare practitioners' point of view. The fierce stigma associated with pedophilia may interfere with attempts to prevent sexual offending, and estimated that only about 1/3 of media coverage portrays pedophilia realistically. To destigmatize pedophilia and benefit the prevention of child sexual abuse, a fact box for journalists was developed based on practitioners' expert knowledge. So this is a little bit more of an anecdotal report, admittedly, but still, this seems to be building towards a pretty decent, consistent opinion, which is simply that if you are attracted to children and you have not harmed a child, then you should go and seek help fucking immediately. And right now, because of the way the stigma is, because of the way we require doctors report their patients, even if that patient has not harmed anybody or doesn't plan to harm anybody, you are deterring people from seeking help. You are contributing to child rape. So there's that. And then finally, from Psychology Today. This is a really nice short little read. I would heavily recommend it. There are several therapeutic treatments that can be an option for those with pedophilic urges and can help modify one's behavior and mental health while struggling with their situation. These include cognitive behavioral therapy, empathy training, and reconditioning approaches. Oh, guys, listen to everybody that's triggered. Many people with pedophilic urges do not seek psychiatric or psychological treatment due to the stigma around the condition in society and the mandatory reporting laws in the United States, which can lead to legal consequences if pedophilic acts are acknowledged. Now, I'm not sure I agree with this wording, because if you acknowledge a pedophilic act, which by the way is not just abusing a child, it would also include looking at child porn, then you should face legal consequences for that. But as far as admitting that you have these attractions and need help, you should not be facing legal consequences for that. Are there therapeutic treatments for pedophilia. For people with pedophilic disorders who do seek help, research suggests that cognitive behavioral treatment models may have some effect. Such models include aversive conditioning, confrontation of cognitive distortions, building victim empathy, assertiveness training, relapse prevention, surveillance systems, and lifelong maintenance. The prevention project, this is really important, okay? The prevention project Dunkfeld clinics in Germany, which use cognitive behavioral methodology to teach clients how to control their sexual impulses, have treated more than 5,000 people who have voluntarily come forward seeking services, because Germany does not have mandatory reporting laws comparable to those in the United States. The clinic also offers psychopharmaceutical interventions, including, when needed, testosterone-lowering medication to dampen sexual appetite. The project's initial results, while based on small samples, appear encouraging. Participants have been shown to experience improvements in their self-regulation abilities and decreases in attitudes that support sexual contact with children. Research has disproven the perception that sex offenders are especially prone to recidivism. Recidivism means returning to a crime that you've already committed. In reality, recidivism rates for sex offenses are lower than for all other major types of crime, and the U.S. Department of Justice has found that only about 3% of child molesters commit another sex crime within 3 years of being released from prison. Meta-analyses of hundreds of studies confirms that once they are detected, most convicted offenders never sexually reoffend, and they put in parentheses, not all sex offenders who victimize children are pedophiles. Only about 40 to 50% of convicted sex offenders who've sexually assaulted children meet the diagnostic criteria for the disorder. I want to see less child abuse, so therefore we should be proactive instead of reactive. And even more so, my approach, right? Think about if you have somebody who's attracted to a child, right? My approach is get help, get on medication, lower the likelihood that you are going to hurt somebody. Everybody else mad at me on Twitter who are LARPing cunts are actually the people saying, just wait until a child gets abused and molested and then prosecute that person. I agree that if you hurt a child, you should go to prison. You should face serious repercussions, okay? I don't give a fuck. Once you fucking abuse a child, you are dead to me. You're done, okay? Your life has expired, my friend. Would it not make sense to act in a way that prevents people from harming a child? My approach prevents children from being harmed. The reactive approach waits for a child to be harmed and then prosecutes the perpetrator. Now let's go through some of the more cancellation on Twitter, okay? This is what people seem to be really triggered by. Yeah, as someone who was sexually abused when I was 8 years old, I just don't think pedophilia is a thing we need to be less hostile towards. But what would I know? Shrugs. So a couple things. One, being less hostile to people that have these attractions and have not acted on them is what literally contributes to them seeking therapy, thus making it less likely they will harm a child. And so I responded, you wouldn't know anything. If you did, you'd want non-offending pedos to get treatment to prevent something terrible like that happening to another kid. But I guess just virtue signal while contributing to more child rape. Persecute me, crucify me. I don't give a shit, okay? Here's the deal. If you are a victim, that is horrible. That is the absolute, that is tragic. I'm sad that that thing happened to this person. I don't want that to happen to anybody. That's why I'm trying to be proactive. So just if you have been abused in the past, that is fucking horrible. But again, that doesn't mean suddenly you're right about your opinion when it comes to pedophilia. Comes across as a bit harsh? Yeah, I don't care because I care about deterring child rape. So if I have to be a little bit harsh to somebody with a brain dead fucking take, then yeah. I will be harsh if necessary. If you want to say like, oh, it's a little harsh, fine, but like my point stands. I'd probably steer clear from using that phrasing against someone who may be in a trauma headspace. No, I'm not. No, stop with this, okay? You don't get to come on Twitter, lie and spread bullshit and also advocate for something that has been now empirically demonstrated to reduce non-offending pedophiles from seeking help. And then get to say, oh, well, I was a victim and I have trauma, so don't refute my point. Don't be mean in your response to me. Fuck off. This was an adorable one so funny. I actually had to tweet this and explain exactly what the big problem is. I said, there's a difference between offending pedophiles and non-offending pedophiles. Surely you can recognize that, right? I'd been arguing with this guy for a while. And he goes, I see no difference. And I think the people who side with you aren't okay. Now I'm going to keep from soying out as best I can, but wait, let me get this straight. You see no difference between an offending and a non-offending pedophile. Agree with Hunter, but damn, you really dropped out of that optics game. I don't care, Lash. Please fuck off. I will be bad optics towards you if necessary as well. There are so many people that are pro-child rape on Twitter, and I'm going to call them all out, okay? They're sick fucks. Like this guy, for example. I see no difference. You see no difference? An offending and a non-offending pedophile? One has harmed a child, you fucking dipshit. One has not harmed a child. And whenever I get into these kind of conversations and they say they see no difference, then instantly it becomes crystal clear. They don't care about protecting kids. They only care about hating pedophiles. They don't care about protecting children, because if they did, they would recognize that there's a difference between a pedophile who has fucking molested somebody that deserves the chair and somebody who's a pedophile who's trying to seek help so they don't hurt somebody. If you unironically have this take, then I just feel sorry for you. God fucked up, okay? You're an example that God is not in fact benevolent, because he could never create such a despicable plight on human society, such as yourself and people that agree with this guy. And I also included this as well. Child molesters, a behavioral analysis in cooperation with the FBI. What then is the difference between a child molester and a pedophile? For many, the terms have become synonymous. The media frequently makes no distinction, and use the terms interchangeably. Labeling all child molesters as pedophiles is, however, confusing. There are clear differences between the types of individuals who sexually abuse children, and law enforcement officers handling these cases need to make such distinctions. A child molester is an individual who sexually molests children. A person might have a sexual preference for children and might fantasize about having sex with them. That person is a pedophile. But if he does not act out on it, then he is not a child molester. Lastly, I am in no way advocating to normalize pedophiles, and I'm not even advocating to completely destigmatize pedophilia, simply to lower the stigma to a healthy degree in which people who have these dangerous and immoral attractions can seek therapy without fear of total retribution. That's it. I don't want them out there living their lives being isolated, which makes it more likely that they'll offend. I don't want that. I want to see less kids getting harmed, okay? And so this is simply the best solution that we have right now. As someone who is a child who was affected, I completely agree with you, Hunter. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I'm not like attacking a sexual assault survivor. I'm simply explaining that their attitude is in fact a virtue signal that contributes to more child rape. Sorry if that fact is inconvenient for you, but that is just the fact of the matter. Now we get to Shoe on Head. I'm burning the bridge with Shoe on Head. I'm sure she'll act as if like, oh, it's just a meme. Hunter's so serious, ooh woo. Because Shoe on Head has, even when we were kind of like on decent terms, has always been a spineless piece of shit coward who will drop takes, say shit, and whenever she gets called out for it, she will hide behind the memes. She will hide behind the memes. She'll go, oh, I was just kidding. Oh, why can't you take a joke? Oh, why are you so sensitive, boo-hoo? Nobody's sensitive. Nobody here can't take a joke. We're just sick of your spineless behavior. That's all. Somebody tweets this. You know, I did delete this tweet also because it was getting dogpiled, and yeah, but I still stand by it. I am absolutely floored by how many sick fucks are on Twitter, and the amount of people against non-offending pedophiles seeking help, which reduces child abuse, is shocking. There are so many disgusting creeps on here that want more child rape. It is absolutely sickening. And this person posted this, you know, oh, don't make me tap the sign. It's not rocket science, guys. They're just evil and want to diddle kids. Okay, if you think pedophilia is evil, you should want to reduce evil in the world, right? And so then Shoe on Head responds, ooh, and says, quote, we need to remove the social stigma of child rape. And half the people replying were like, quote, you're correct, but optics, give it 5 years. So I don't know if Shoe on Head is just incredibly fucking stupid, which let's be honest. I'm sorry. I do know. She is incredibly fucking stupid. And I do not think that her brain is capable of forming a thought outside of 140 characters. And so I would be really curious to know, where did I ever say to remove the social stigma of child rape? When did I ever say this? I have never advocated to remove the social stigma of child rape. Child rape should be as stigmatized as humanly possible, okay? I don't support the death penalty, but if you rape a child, I might change my opinion on that, okay? Absolutely. Never have I once advocated to remove the social stigma of child rape. And the fact that she would even try and quote me as saying this demonstrates the reality that she is a bad faith bimbo bitch who only exists on this fucking platform to post dipshit takes and get a bunch of simp followers because she's a girl who's like moderately attractive. That's it. She is actually a subhuman piece of trash, in my opinion, and no, I am not interested in reconciling with her. I am happy to talk with her on stream, but until then, no. I am done with my engagement with Shoeonhead. She is one of the most pathetically stupid individuals probably on the planet right now, and again, the fact that she would be so blatantly bad faith and quote me as saying that I want to reduce the stigma of child rape, which is abhorrent and something that is not even comparable to what I ever fucking said, is a demonstration that she is not functioning within standard levels of human cognition. It is abhorrent to me. And the fact that you are so bad faith that you would just jump on this hate brigade without even doing an ounce of thought, which, let's be honest, you don't have any thoughts because you're a fucking thought. This is exactly the problem that I've had with Shoeonhead. She is pathetic. This is disgraceful and despicable in every conceivable way. So again, I've never advocated to reduce the social stigma of child rape. I've advocated to slightly, to a healthy degree, lower the level of stigma that we place on people who have pedophilic attractions but have not yet acted on them so that they can get help, so that we can see empirically the rate of child rape decrease. I want to see less child rape. And Shoeonhead, you want to see more of it. So that's Shoeonhead for you guys, and this is why I'm no longer engaging with this dumb bimbo, is because she doesn't know how to read, she doesn't know how to think, is so incredibly terminally online that you can't really have a reasonable conversation with a person like this. Finally, she has even made videos before where she has said, I think verbatim almost, if you are attracted to a child, you either need to go to prison or go to therapy. She agrees with my take. She agrees that if you are attracted to a child, you need to go to therapy. The only problem here is that she would rather virtue signal on Twitter while simultaneously contributing to more child rape. While I actually have the balls and the fucking spine to give empirically demonstrated facts on how to reduce child rape, and because it hurts Shoeonhead's fifis, then this is what we get. We get my take, which is identical to hers, being misconstrued by her that I'm saying I want to destigmatize child rape. Absolutely sickening. So, Shoe gives head, fuck you. And now for the block. Goodbye. Goodbye, cunt. That's the drama for the most part, okay? Me saying that if you're a pedophile who's attracted to kids but hasn't harmed a kid, you should be able to seek therapy and get medication without fear of complete and total social ostracization, which has now been demonstrated to lower the likelihood of child abuse. We also know that when pedophiles have been isolated and treated as complete outcasts, when they feel as though they have nothing left to lose, they are more likely to harm a child. That is my take. Pretty cut and dry. If you're a pedophile, which means you're attracted to kids, and you have not yet abused a child, you should be able to get help. And apparently that's enough for me to get canceled on Twitter, for me to get attacked as a literal pro-child rapist by Shoe Gives Head, and basically just dragged through the mud as a fucking pedo defender. People might want to cancel me because, you know, they would rather there be more children get fucking raped every day so they can get a few likes on Twitter. I rest easy knowing that at the end of the day, my behavior here only leads to less child abuse, and everybody mad at me, coping, reeing, screaming, and acting like a dumb fuck are enabling child rapists. They are the sick fucks here.